Jagrative, Jam Masters. It's actually very true that there's a tremendous flow of energy that can well up inside of you. Everybody knows that. Everybody's experienced it. It really doesn't belong to yoga or to spirituality or anything. You feel energy. There are times you feel enthused. There are times you feel energetic. There's times you feel high. Call it whatever you want. You feel energy, an energetic state. I don't want to define it. I don't really want to talk about the chakras or Shakti, because all that does is turn it into the mind. It lets you try to understand it. Why would you try to understand what you're experiencing? Like, if I ask you, can you see? You say, yeah, I can make a real mess out of it. How you're seeing, how the eyeballs are made, and what's the lens, and this and that, and how light works. Whew, boy, what's that got to do with seeing? You're already seeing. That's good enough. You know how to see. I don't need to teach you how to see. I just make a mess out of it. You get it into your mind. Oh, am I doing it right? Well, it's the same thing with energy. You do feel energy. You do. It doesn't belong to yoga or spirituality, anything like that. It belongs to the fact that you're in there and you notice that sometimes you're high, sometimes you're enthusiastic. It's very beautiful, isn't it? It's nice. It's something you experience. It's something that happens. You can intellectualize it all you want, but you know darn well what it means to be high, what it means to be enthused, what it means to be turned on, what it means to be in an energetic state. That's real. I don't care if scientists understand it or doctors understand it or the MRI can show it. I'm not interested. What matters is what you experience. That's why I like to teach. I teach at that level. So basically, you feel energy when you have it. We use the word energetic. I was turned on. I felt high. I was in the zone. Call it whatever you want. And you know what you feel? When you don't have it. And you have words for that. I felt depressed. I was so tired and drained. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even get myself out of bed. I was so low on energy. I was like, yes or no? Ever been there? Ever been up? Ever been down? Good. Good. You came to the right place. Okay? Because that's what we're talking about. You don't have to make it mystical. Don't make it mystical. You do know this energy. We don't need to intellectualize it. We don't need to give it a name. Everybody gave it a name. Spirit, Shakti, Chi. In yoga, you have prana, Shakti. It's just the energy in different places. That's all it is. Prana is energy in your body. Shakti is energy out of your body. But I don't want you to know that. I don't want you to even care. I want you to know that what we're talking about is what you experience regularly in your life. That there are times you are a very high energy state, and there are times you're in a very low energy state. Would it be nice to talk about that? How about if I told you that you have complete control? Not in a given moment, but when you're done, you'll have complete control over your energy state. It is not something that has to just happen to you. And by the way, I'm not talking about this little bit of energy you play with. Yogananda once said, if it opened up and all the energy that is possible to flow through you, you would blow up. You're not capable of handling it. You're not capable of handling it. You're not even close. Well, look, got some work to do. I like that stuff, all right? So if you think you felt love, there's love way beyond anything you've ever felt. And there's energy way beyond. And there's purity of inspiration, like tremendous inspiration. It's like Beethoven didn't have to write his music. He wrote down his music. That music was going on in his head. It was driving him crazy. He didn't know where it came from. All of it. The Moonlight Sonata, Fur-Elise, Pathétique, they're playing in his head. And he needs to write them down. I told you that the other day when he was going deaf. He cut the legs off his piano so that it would vibrate the floor, and he could put his ear near the floor and hear the music. He just had to hear what was going on in his head out here. Well, where did that come from? He didn't sit down there and write notes and move them around like we all do when we compose. He tried to write down what he was hearing. That is in you. That is in everybody. You are great. There's a place inside of you that's pure inspiration, pure artistry, pure intellect, pure logic. Oh my God, I can't talk about it. So there's a starting position. Yoga is all about this energy. Yoga is literally the science that studies the energy we're talking about. You have complete say in the end over that energy. That's your energy. There's nobody else's. But you need to learn to find out what happened, what's going on in here. And the way you do it is you ask them very simple questions. I don't want to teach you, but I'll help guide you so that you can find for yourself. So what questions do I ask? How do I get more energy? Nope, that's not the question you ask. The question you ask is, there are times I feel tremendous energy. Why don't I the other times? Don't worry about how do I get it or do this. Just why don't I feel it? And what you can do, that's all I ever did in my life. People ask me, where'd you learn all that stuff you wrote in your books? Basically, you watch. And if you get clear, you see what's going on in there. And everybody says, yeah, that's what's going on inside of me. Of course that's going on inside of you. We're all the same. Basically. We have minds. They were programmed differently because we had different experiences, but the process of mind is the same, and our energies are the same. Yours open and close, different places, but when it opens, you feel the energy. And when it closes, you feel that. So what you do is you start watching every day, every moment of your life. You just start witness consciousness. You start watching. Don't struggle. Witness consciousness is not, I'm trying. Okay, look, I'm stepping in front of me. Here's a step. I took a step. I'm witnessing. No, you're not. You're being neurotic. You understand? Here's witness consciousness. Look at the wall. There, that's witness consciousness. How hard was that? I'm asking you, look at the wall, any wall. Just look in front of you. How hard was it? How much effort did it take? Are you tired? That's what happens inside of you. There are thoughts going on, just like there's a wall. There are feelings going on, just like there's pictures. Don't you see them? Of course you see them. The trouble is you can't just see them. You can just see the wall, okay? Unless the picture's missing and I look at the wall. Who took the picture? Then I can't just look at the wall, can I? If I'm neutral about looking at the wall, it is an effortless act. I'm telling you, that is witness consciousness. Doesn't sound like what they teach you, okay? That's witness consciousness. What? Just seeing. That's the Buddhist state of just seeing. You're capable of just seeing, aren't you? There's a wall. Don't think about it. You don't have to think about it, do you? There it is. Same thing inside. There are thoughts. There are feelings. So what? Can you see them? That's witness consciousness. All right? But the truth is you can't. And that's a clue. That's a very deep clue about what's going on. Why can't you just see your thoughts? Because you get affected by your thoughts. Every thought you have, you go, what should I do about that? What should I do about that? What should I do about that? Oh my God, is it real? Should I think about that? I don't know. Whoa. Let me make a statement, and you tell me it's true. You can't handle your thoughts. You can't handle your thoughts. You have to manipulate them and control them and make people change. And you have to do things because you can't handle your thoughts. Well, that's not a nice thing to tell somebody, but I guarantee you, you can't handle your thoughts. You can't handle your thoughts, all right? All they have to do is go boo, and you go, ah. And they do more than boo, don't they? They got a lot of stuff going on there. You know what you can't handle? Your emotions. And you know that. Let's define handle for a moment. Because right now, everything I'm talking to you about, when it's said and done, you will see this is how you get energy. This is how you work with your energy. This is how you find out why you don't have it all the time. All right? We're backing our way into it. So that basically, what does it mean by handle your emotions? Handle means you don't have to do anything about it. Can you handle the fact that it was raining out earlier? If the answer is yes, you were fine. You didn't have to do anything, did you? You didn't have to do affirmations. The rain's okay, the rain's okay. It's good for the farmer, it's good for the... You didn't have to do that, did you? It just rained and you're okay. You're fine. The fact is, that's a definition. If you can handle it, then you don't have to do anything about it. If you can't handle it, you have to do something about it. What did you say to me? I can't handle that. Okay. Bye. You can't handle it. You got to do something in your mind, this and that, and never talk to me again, or whatever it is. So you heard somebody said something. Can you handle that? Sure. Sure, fine. What do I care? Right? It just goes through. That's what it means. It's a very high state, but it's Zen. Being able to handle something means it came in through your senses, it hit your mind and your heart, because they're there, they're part of your inner state, and it passed right through. It passed right through. What did you do? Nothing. Did you have to help it pass through? That's like saying, did I have to help looking at the wall? No, I didn't have to help looking at the wall. It just kind of happened. This kind of came through. So this concept of being able to handle things is a major part of it. Because what you're going to find out, I'm not dissing you, is that you can handle things. Okay? You can't handle what people say. You can't handle what people wear. You can't handle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And not only can you not handle what they say, you can't handle what they don't say. And that's enormous, because imagine how many things people don't say. And you also can't handle why they said it or why they didn't say it. Whoa, that's extreme. How would you know why they did what they did? And so you're in there, and because you're doing all this, I'm telling you, by definition, we're going to define things, it means you can't handle it. You can't handle your emotions, and you can't handle the thoughts in your mind. In general, interestingly enough, and again, you have to stop for a moment, because otherwise you'll disagree with me, you can handle the world. At least 99.999% of what happens to you and comes in through your senses, you don't have to do anything about. White lines you drive by, trees you see, clouds pass by. I want you to figure out what percent of what comes in through your senses you don't have to do anything about. Almost everything. How's that? Not neat? You're high beings. You're able to handle 99.999% of what happens to you. But that 0.001%, that's a killer, baby. Right? Why? Why? How did you define what part you weren't able to handle? Again, remember how you define handle. You didn't have to do anything about it. It's true, you don't have to do anything about the white lines, the trees, the clouds, the sounds, the birds. You don't have to do anything. They're just an experience that you have. That's pretty neat, isn't it? But that 0.001% or whatever the percent is, the reason you can't handle it is because you can't handle your thoughts and emotions. So the things that come in that affect your thoughts and emotions are the ones you can't handle. The ones that come in that don't affect your thoughts and emotions, you have no trouble with. Is it true that some things come in and affect your thoughts and emotions? You start talking and just resisting and wanting, and the new book talks about it very clearly. Either you're resisting what you experienced or you are clinging to what you experienced. I want it to happen again. I like it. I do not want it to happen again. I do not like it. I don't even want it to have happened. That means you couldn't handle it. In both cases, you couldn't handle it. Okay, don't think not handle it just means the negative stuff. Somebody says, I love you. I've never loved anybody as much as you in my entire life. You're so special to me. Well, you can't handle that. What do I have to wear to get that saying again? What do I have to do to get that saying again? I really like that. What did I do to get that? I don't know. Maybe perfume or smell or cologne. But in other words, you have to do something about that, don't you? That's called clinging. You wanted it to happen, you enjoyed it, and therefore you clung to it, and you want it to happen again, don't you? What if you came to me and said, oh my gosh, she said the most beautiful things to me. I said, congratulations, wonderful. Right? Do you care if it happens again? Nah. You're not going to say that? No, you're going to say that. You're going to say, well, figure out every single thing I did that made that happen and make sure I do it again. So you can't, remember how I define handle it. You don't have to do anything about it. You're fine. You're just fine. It's an experience you had. It goes through, and you go to your next moment. You know what it's called? Be here now. That's why you aren't here now, because you couldn't handle the now, so you're busy with it later. I call it being there then. So basically, that's the game of the game. You don't realize it, but you can't handle your thoughts and you can't handle your emotions, because you have to keep doing things about them, so you can't experience the next moment. You start clinging and holding or resisting. Blah, 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 blah. I hope you understand. Handling it is a very high state. Handling means the world unfolds in front of me. It comes in through all five of my senses, and I experience it and just whatever, and enjoy it or don't enjoy it. I don't care. That's what they talk about duality and non-duality. We're talking deep stuff. A terrible smell came in because you drove past a skunk. Can you handle it? No. Oh, my God. I go where to close the windows? No. To stay in there, open the windows. Oh, turn it. It's a smell. It comes in through your nose, up your olfactory nerves, then it hits your brain, and it's gone. Don't worry, it'll be gone. But it won't be gone in you. Oh, it smells so bad. You'll tell everybody about it. You know what happened today? I got to smell it. That's what it means not to be able to handle it. It stayed in there because you couldn't handle it. Otherwise, why is your mind still talking about it and going oohing about it for days when it's not happening anymore? Why does the mind just not stop making a thing out of it when it's over? Because you couldn't handle it. It's a very deep talk. This is Zen. This is the teachings of non-duality. That sounds weird. It's not weird.
This is a teaching that says the world is there. There are skunks and there are beautiful flowers. And in the book I talk about rattlesnakes and butterflies. Just yin-yang yourself anywhere you want. It's just, there's everything. And they all have their nature, don't they? They all have a vibration. They have a nature. And when they come in, you get to experience their nature. Isn't that nice? No. Yes. Right? You get to experience their nature. And so nature is a terrible smell. The nature is a nice smell. But I'll tell you one thing about their nature. It comes and goes. And not a single thing from the beginning of creation that didn't come and go. It all is transient. It all comes and goes. Doesn't it? It just comes in and goes. But it doesn't come and go inside you. Most of it does. I already told you. 99.9% does come and go inside of you. But there's a percent that doesn't. And so the question becomes, why? Why can't you handle reality? It is reality, isn't it? The smell was reality. What somebody said was reality. This happened, that happened. Why can't you handle reality? Because you resist or cling. Naturally, it all comes in and passes through, and then you have the next moment. It's just a beautiful experience that the universe gave you. You didn't do anything. You're not peddling. It's just like when you looked at the wall. It was there. The life is unfolding in front of you. You have to do anything to make it unfold in front of you. It's been going on for 13.8 billion years. Don't worry about it. There's going to be a moment in front of you. Can you handle it? That's the question. Not will there be a moment. It's can you handle the moment? Believe it or not, this is backing our way into your energy flow, into what's going on with your energy flow, and why sometimes you feel and sometimes you don't, and what you can do about it. Fair enough? So this comes in. I'm telling you, and someday you will grow and understand the truth behind it, if you can handle it. Handle what? Everything. Oh, what do you mean everything? Life unfolds. How about, I'll give a different name to everything. Reality. That's a good word, isn't it? You know what I mean by reality? You better know what I mean by reality. Okay? Reality means that which just happened. There, it happened. Has anybody ever undone what already happened? If it happened, it happened. Please listen to me. If it happened, it happened. I'm not saying it's good or bad or right or wrong or fair or just. I didn't say anything like that, did I? I just said, if it happened, it already happened. It came in, you experienced it. That's truth. That's reality. What you did with it came in, that's where your free will came from. You don't have free will to make moments be the way you want. You have fun. It ain't going to be fun at all if you're sitting there trying to make everything be exactly the way you want. Because first of all, you can't even touch everything. Or the most you can touch is a little moment in front of you. What about all the rest of them? Which, by the way, every moment in creation causes the next moment. So you can be very busy. You better get ahead of the game. Not a chance in the world. It is unfolding. It has been unfolding for 13.8 billion years. It's unfolding all around you. It's reality. It's unfolding. There it goes. Now it's going to pass in front of you. What is? One little piece, a little piece of the whole thing, going to pass in front of you. Can you handle that? That's what we're talking about. Can you handle reality? It's such a simple discussion. Why? If you can't handle reality, you're going to do something about the moment that's passing in front of you. What am I going to do? You're going to cling to it because you want it to happen again. You don't want to let it go. It was really nice, and I like it. Stay there. Sit. Basically, you cling. That's what was possessiveness. What is all this? It's clinging. It's holding on. We do it. Why do we do it? Because we can't handle the experience that we had, and we want to have it again, so we manipulate it. We try to do something about it. Or, I didn't like it, and I don't want it to happen again, so I resist it. No, it didn't happen. This is not good. And you push it away. If you hold it, cling, or push it away, resist, it stays. You could challenge it by saying, who says it stays? You do. Does it come back up ever? Anything that ever happened to you that you didn't like, did it ever come back in your mind? It was just gone when it's gone. You got stuff in there from when you were 2. It stays. Why? Because you resisted it. Did everything stay? No. Only the things that you couldn't handle. See how holy the word handle and not handle is? It's the core of all spirituality. It's the core of the quality of your life. If you can handle things, they're fun. The skunk stunk, all right? It was funny. It's cute. It's funny. Okay? You can have fun if you can handle it. But if you can't handle it, it's not fun, is it? But it's not that it's not fun. It's that you're not fun. You're so sensitive, you can't say anything. Like walking on eggshells. Ever use the term? Or anybody's like walking on eggshells? That's not a lot of fun, is it? That's not because of what happened or what was said. It's because they couldn't handle it. And if you can't handle it, you're going to get weird. And you're welcome to get weird a little bit. If the skunk, it stinks, that's okay. But when it no longer stinks, please let it go. Not a chance in the world. Because you resisted it, you didn't like it, you held it inside of you. Next time you're driving down that road, a year later, you haven't driven the road, you can say to everybody, roll up your windows, this is what a skunk was. All right. Well, you've had a lot of skunks in your life. There have been a lot of things that stunk, or at least you thought they did. And they come in and you store them. And once you store one, they propagate out, they extrapolate. Just like that road never bothered you before. But because the skunk was smelled on the road, now the road, I don't want to go down that road. I don't like that road. I don't like 34th. And so basically, you get to the point where you understand that the universe is unfolding. That's a truth, a reality. And you're going to experience the part that's in front of you. Not a very big part, but it's a part that's in front of you. Nobody's asking you to handle everything. Imagine how many things are happening at once. Can you imagine how many moments there are? You don't have to handle all those, don't worry, okay? But can you handle the tiny little one that's in front of you? It's just a moment in reality. And the answer, of course, is no. You handle more than 99.9% of it. You do. I'm serious. I tell in the book, when a rattlesnake goes by, if you happen to see a rattlesnake and it's crawling by, it's coiled, let's say, and you need to be careful where you step, and it goes away. At the moment you were experiencing that rattlesnake, there was grass, there was wind, there was sunlight, there were clouds, there were trees. Do you think about them ever again? No way. Because you only focused on what scared you, and then you kept it inside of you. That rattlesnake could be in there your whole life. I don't know. I don't go into reptile gardens and things at the zoo, right? And so I hope you're getting it. I really want to focus on this handle it thing. Either you can handle it, and it passes through, and you just get on with your next experience. And you're just an open, holy, great person, all right? What a pleasure to be around somebody. You didn't have to walk on eggshells. It's just, they can take it. They can take it. You're in a bad mood, you say something. You say something to somebody, here, oh my God, I saw you from behind. You were so beautiful. I've been looking all over for you. Somebody stole me. You turn around and say, oh, it's not you. Whoa, man, that's quite a trip. Can you handle it? You say, that was funny. You can handle things. Who said you can't handle things? You did. The only one that can say you can't handle things is you, because you're the one who's doing it. No one can tell you to handle something or not handle something. You're in there. The event took place inside of you, and you either resisted it, clung to it, or handled it. You're going to find out this handling thing is very holy. If you can handle it, you're free. Maybe that's what liberation is. The ability to handle reality and let it pass through and experience the next thing and the next thing and always be okay. Why would you not be okay? You can handle it. When you sit there and say, I can't handle this, are you okay? No. If you say, oh, yeah, I can handle that, are you okay? See, I like that we're focused on this. I can handle this, or I can't. If you can't, you're in trouble. Because if you can't handle it, you're going to hold it. And then it's going to stay in there. And you have to deal with the rest of your life, which I always thought was the silliest thing in the world. That which you don't like, you keep. You make a collection of it. I have inside of me every single thing I didn't like. I just have stored all this stuff inside of me, and yesterday something happened that reminded me what happened when I was 3, and it's going to take me some days to stop crying. I mean, I'm a mess, okay? Or something happened that someone hadn't seen for a long time. I went to my high school reunion, and I saw my high school sweetheart. Okay, yeah, I know it was 30 years later, but, the name's the same. And we talked about it, right? And now I don't know if I like my wife or my husband. I'm really thinking about it. We said we'd meet again. OMG. Is this what we're dealing with? This humanity? This is insanity. That's what it is, all right? So you couldn't handle things in the past, so you stored them inside of you. All right, so what? That's such a big deal. Yes, it is a very, very big deal. Because now everything that's going on outside has a chance of hitting that stuff. And either making you a weirdo and get all excited and get weird on me, all right, change and leave your family and do whatever you do. I don't want to talk about it. Whatever it is, that was extreme, but people do that. Or it hurts you. It brought it right back. The pain that you felt and the discomfort and the embarrassment. Somebody talked about something and reminded you of something in high school or there. And the next thing you know, for days, you're not okay. Yes, you get weird. Your energy's weird. Feel awkward. Can it get like that? Okay. That happened because you couldn't handle what happened to you in the past. So you stored it inside of you. And now you're a walking target for everything that everybody says, for anything everybody does. My father talked to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not your father. Yeah, but it's like that. Well, that's your problem. Do you understand that? Otherwise, marry somebody and they better teach you what you get to say and what you don't get to say, and where the soft spots are. And if you love me, you'll avoid them, and you'll learn about me. Oh, my God. That's what you call a relationship? Help. Okay? You should handle things. You can handle things. You're the one who didn't handle it. And so now what? Now you have all this stuff inside of you that keeps coming up, and then the outside world hits it because you project your stuff onto the world. It all looks like that. And so we walk around like targets that the stuff we're carrying in there, we're afraid it's going to get hit. And we're sensitive, and we manipulate and control so it doesn't happen. Or we want it to hit, so we manipulate and control so it does happen. And don't tell me you have not watched how you dress and how you smell, how your hair is, or car you're driving, or what it is, or whether you flash some money around, whatever the heck you're into, to try and impress somebody. You try to attract somebody or impress somebody. Why? Because you're not okay, and you're trying to get something that you think will make you be okay. So the question is not, how do you attract to yourself that which you think you need to be okay? The question is, why am I not okay? Not what do I need to do to be okay? Why am I not okay? Who said I had to not be okay? You did. Why? Because you stored every bad experience you ever had inside of you. What do you think your inside is going to be like if you store everything that ever bothered you inside of you? It's going to be bothered. If you took every food that ever made you sick and asked for a doggy bag, took it home, and tasted a little every day to remind yourself how terrible it was, you're going to be sick. You don't realize you have stored everything that ever bothered you inside of you. It is still there. You know it is still there. It comes up when things hit it. You don't hit it. You don't think about it. It comes up. And you're going to basically say, well, I'm not okay. Of course you're not okay. Look what you've done. And you think that the way to be okay is to manipulate the world and control an environment that doesn't hit your stuff. Create an environment that you can handle. It's going to be so small. Wait till you see how small it gets. Like a little house with one person and then maybe a dog, but I don't know about the dog, and we can't have a dog and a cat because they might not get along. So let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Think about it. Think about how it could perfectly work. Oh, man. You get also thinking about it. So what's the alternative? It's very straightforward. The alternative is stop doing that. Stop doing what? Stop storing inside of you things that bothered you. When they're over, let them go. What a novel concept. People say, I'm not capable of doing that. Of course you're not, because you can't handle the vibration. You can't handle the rattlesnake. You can't handle the word that was said. You can't handle that somebody did something. Handle somebody didn't do something. You can't handle things about your future. You can make such a mess out of your life by doing that. So the event didn't even happen, but you can't even handle the thought of it happening. Are you getting a view of how bad we can make it? Now, I'm going to tie this to your energy. The truth of the matter is, and you just have to believe me, that this energy flow that you like is in there all the time. It does not ever go away. It is in there multifold what you've ever experienced. Whoa, why don't I feel it? Because you blocked it with that stuff. So it's not just that that stuff creates neurosis and scary and all that. It literally blocks the energy flow. Period. How do I know? Okay, you're doing really well, and somebody says something to you. A little tiny thing. I like the example I use. You're in love with somebody and just a beautiful relationship, and you get home and you hug and all this stuff, and then you close your eyes, you feel all this love and all this nice stuff, and once you made a mistake, you opened your eyes, you heard a sound, you open your eyes, and you notice that he's holding his cell phone over there reading while he's hugging you. How you doing? Feeling a lot of love? Can you handle that? Not while we're hugging. No. No, I can't handle that. How much love do you feel? None. How much energy do you feel? You get depressed. You may never talk to him again. It lowered your energy. Why? Because your stuff got hit. Doesn't it? It either opens or closes based on your stuff. And if he does that and he says, oh, no, I'm sorry, you opened your eyes. It's our anniversary tomorrow, and I wanted to think, I had this thing I didn't order. I wanted to get it special for you. Oh, okay. Isn't that all it takes? Isn't that amazing? How weird are we? And you tolerate that, right? That's going to be like a yo-yo going on in there. And so you catch on that your energy flow is determined by your blockages. If the blockages are gone in a given area, you get energy. It's flowing wonderfully. Here, learn to play tennis and hit a good shot. Have the coach say, hey, it's perfect. That's exactly right. Then hit a bad one. No. I'm serious. It's crazy, isn't it? It's because you have all this stuff in here. What should happen is when you hit a good shot, you feel good, right? When you hit a bad shot, good. Let's try again. Good. That means I'm going to get better. I already know how to hit the good shot. Why bother? But I don't know how to hit the bad shot, so if I hit a bad shot, it's good. That means I can practice. It means I'm going to get better. I get all excited about the bad shots. There. Can you be like that? Of course you can. You just have to handle that you hit a bad shot. But you can't. Some of you can. You can handle things, but you have to change inside. You have to change your attitude. So that basically what you're going to find is that it's these blockages that you've stored inside of you because you couldn't handle things. That's the only reason you stored them inside of you, because you couldn't handle them. I already taught you that. The ones you could handle don't get stored in there. They go about their business. Okay? But the ones you couldn't handle get stored in there, and they cause a lot of trouble. And not only do they cause trouble because you feel their trouble when they get hit, and they cause your behavior to change, and you get weird. Okay? And they also cause trouble because they block your energy. They affect your energy flow. So the blockages that you stored in there, yoga calls them samskaras, the blockages you stored in there are affecting your energy flow. And that's why you get depressed. If everything goes wrong and you can't handle things, the lower you get, the less you can handle anything because you got no energy. You understand that? Everything starts to bother you, doesn't it? So basically then you're really closed and then you get depressed. Depressed means depressed energy. It's not really a psychological state. It's a yogic state. The energy can't flow, so the thoughts get negative and the emotions get negative. It takes energy to raise things, doesn't it? Everything in life, energy raises things. If you don't have energy, they fall down to the lowest state. And next thing you know, you can't handle anything. You're crying all the time. You're upset. That's because you blocked your energy, or blockages came up from the past. And all of a sudden, you have energy. And the opposite happens when you do have energy. If you fall in love and you're really positive, well, I say it in the book, but it's true. You say things like, I don't care if he has money. I don't care where we live. I'll live outside as long as I can be with her, because you have all this positive energy coming up. So your thoughts become positive and your emotions become positive. It's a state of openness because you're getting what you want and the energy is flowing up, and then it looks perfect. It doesn't usually last all that long. Well, I guess something happens. Somebody says something, somebody dies, you lose your job, they have financial problems. Just get couples together and madly in love and have them start having financial problems. And they say, I can live outside, I don't care. Yeah, well, money helps a little bit. So you're sitting there and you got all these problems, you got a mortgage and everything. All of a sudden, you're not dealing with love now together. You're dealing with problems together. And all of a sudden, you're storing these samskaras about this and that. Next thing you know, you're fighting. What should we do? Why'd you spend it on that? Anybody know anything about that? Shh. Don't tell anybody. Please learn about this. Please, I'm begging you. This determines the quality of your life. So we were talking about the energy. Now you understand why it changes so much. It's based on what you stored in there and whether it's stimulated or not stimulated, or stimulated positive or stimulated not positive. That's what's going on. And if you're not careful, you'll be thrown around in the wind like this. That's an inner wind. You're just thrown around. Can I do something about that? Yes. Yes, you can. What? Don't store that stuff. How? Handle things. We'll talk about how in a moment. But I'm telling you, you can handle things. You're in there. You're the one who decided not to handle it. You're the one who said, I couldn't handle the skunk. I don't want down that road anymore. Nothing like that. And when I have any cats, they look too much like skunks. You can do whatever you want with your life. You can make the biggest mess that ever existed. You can be afraid to go anywhere. You can be afraid to do anything. I'm not exaggerating, am I? Please, be honest. So your goal, if you will, or your pole star is, I don't want this stuff inside of me. I don't. Do I know how not to? Maybe not. But I get to say I don't. You get to say I want a new house. You get to say I want a career. You get to say all kinds of things you don't have yet. Well, I don't want this stuff inside. That's what I said when I was in my 20s, early 20s. I looked at that. Are you kidding me? I ain't going through my life this way. Not a chance in the world. I don't want this stuff inside of me. And set on a path of getting it out, figuring out how to get it out. And that's all I ever teach you, is what I saw, what I saw and figured and this and that. So basically, you start catching on. I do have control of my energy flow. I've given you proof. It changes all the time. That's why it changes. It changes based on how blocked you are, how open you are, and how blocked or open you are depends on how the world is hitting your stuff. Okay. Or it depends on how much stuff you have. So the more you thin out, and you can thin out, the more you go on an inner diet and let go of this stuff, the more pure love's pouring through my heart, pure bright lights in my mind. That's your state. Why? Because you're not blocking your energy. So the question becomes, how do I get to that state? Well, I told you how. You don't block your energy. Start with the easy part. Don't start with the hard part, what happened to you when you were young and the difficulties you had with your father or your mother or your sisters and brothers or your first husband. Don't start with that guy. Please don't start with that. Those are the hard ones. Those are hard ones. You had trouble handling them? Fine. Don't worry about it. Start with the simple stuff. There's what people don't understand. You are bothering yourself about things that there is no reason for you to bother yourself. You're creating these samskaras, these blockages about the weather, about the driver in front of you, about the neighbor, the fact that they don't mow the lawn enough. Now, let me get this straight. I call it low-hanging fruit. First, I want to see you shake your head and tell me the truth that you do this. You decide how you want somebody else to do something. That is none of your business, other than you decided it. And if they don't do it, you don't like it. Anybody do anything like that? So you're deciding to create a disturbance, and you're creating a disturbance, and you're complaining about the disturbance. You don't understand. I want all the houses in the neighborhood to be reasonably roof colored to each other. I know we don't have a homeowners association that every roof has to be the same color, but wouldn't it be nice if they did? But we don't. And look what this idiot just did with their roof. 2.5 blocks away that I have to drive by when I come home. Don't you laugh. Don't you dare laugh. Okay? So basically, that's what's going on there. So you decided to be bothered by something. Well, what if you decided not to be bothered by it? What if you decided a roof's a roof? Everybody's different. Everybody's different, and they make their roofs different. And plus, it's kind of cute. They don't match. I like it. This harmony, that kind of thing, right? It's kind of interesting, and you can do that. You can do anything you want. You do anything you want in there, and so basically, you go about your business doing that. And if you decide I don't want it, then every time you drive by, it bothers you. That neighbor did not do that. The roof did not do that. You did that. You did that with your mind. You decided, I can't handle his roof. What do you mean you can't handle his roof? Can you handle the fact that Saturn has rings? I dare you to say no. Come on, just decide Saturn shouldn't have rings. That's not fair. I want Jupiter to have rings. You can do that if you want, can't you? It's not going to work out real well. Well, it doesn't work out real well with the driver in front of me. He's not driving the way I want. The weather's not what I want. I don't want it to rain tomorrow. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. I want this to happen. I want that. You do it all the time, don't you? There is no benefit to that. You're just causing yourself sickness. That's all. You're doing something with your mind that you really shouldn't be doing because it's messing up your energy flow. Can the weather mess up your energy flow? Can tomorrow's weather mess up your energy flow? If you sit there and say, I'm going camping tomorrow, oh my God, there's clouds. You're driving yourself crazy all of a sudden for no reason because the weather's going to be what it is. Why are you doing that? So I highly recommend that that's where you start. You start with what I call the low-hanging fruit, where the cost-benefit analysis is, so business people, let's be business people about it, right? The cost-benefit analysis follows. What is the benefit of doing that? Zero. There's no benefit to complaining about whether it's going to rain tomorrow. Doesn't change the thing. Oh, what's the cost? 100%. So we now have a proposition in front of us. We'll get all the analysts in. And it basically says, zero benefit, 100% cost. Oh, go ahead and do that one. That's a good one. Let's see how that works out. That's what you're doing. There is no reason to be bothered about what the weather's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be what it is. Your worry is not going to do anything but create another blockage inside of you. You get bad enough about it. You're like, I want to move. I want to move. It rains less in Arizona. Hello? There's less humidity. My hair doesn't frizz as much. But net result is anybody listening? This is where you work. You literally, it matters what you're doing with your thoughts. It matters that you play these games of not liking people and not liking things. That does nothing for you. It's just in high school. Give me a break. In high school you decided you liked people and you had a little clique and didn't like people. Just what good does that do? It doesn't help one iota you at all, and certainly not them. And so you decide to work with yourself, to raise yourself. And you do this by not storing those things inside. You have an interaction with somebody, or an interaction with the weather, or an interaction with the car in front of you, the driver in front of you, whatever it is. They didn't use their signal. My mind still does that. I work with myself all the time. But if I'm driving behind somebody, I'm accepting how they're driving and so on, whatever it is, the speed they're driving, and then all of a sudden they turn. And my mind says, nice signal. I say, Mickey, stop that. Bad boy. They didn't hear. What is that? Okay? What good did that do? It's just a negative thought, all right? And so you start realizing these things matter. They matter. And so you start raising yourself by working with that. And you just take the attitude, I don't want this stuff inside of me. I don't want stuff inside of me. I want to feel energy. I want to feel love. I want to feel joy. I want to feel enthusiasm. I want to feel inspired by what? Everything. Everything. How? Let go of the stuff that you stored in there. That's the bottom line. If you couldn't handle it before, you're not in high school anymore. You're not 3 years old when your parents got divorced. So it comes up now because it's going to come back up. Let it go. You have to learn to do that. Why? Because it's doing damage in there. And letting it go will give room for the energy to flow. How do you know? Try it. Everyone is so amazing. Until they're so woke people up. They write from all over. They write to say, it works. It changed my life. What? What you just said, accepting the weather. Of course it did. You don't realize negativity is a terrible thing. It closes you down. You don't feel good when you're negative. Then why are you creating negativity over nothing? So you start working with it. Use affirmations, use positive thinking, use mantra, meditate. I don't care. Just work on yourself to where you're not allowing that to go on because there's no benefit to it. And I guarantee you will start to feel more energy. And then there's this thing called the honeymoon stage where you first start letting go and this is fun. But then some stuff's going to come up. I'm telling you, some stuff's going to come up. Sometimes you're not conscious enough to see it, to realize this is your stuff coming up. This is me. This is the real me. No, it's not the real you. You're the one who notices. You're the consciousness under all circumstances. You want to find yourself? Stop looking. Because you're going to look in your mind and look in your heart and look in the world. That's not where you are. You are the one who's looking. You're the consciousness. So basically some heavy stuff will come up and hope you make it through. Hope you realize, okay, there it comes. This is based on what happened before. People tell me sometimes, I've always been like that. I like that the best. The fact that you've always been like that, it doesn't mean that's why you get to be like that. It means that's exactly what got stuck in you. Let it go. You don't want it in there. Understand that. So when you start dealing with the stuff that you weren't able to handle before, you just kept pushing it back down and avoiding it, then you know you're doing real spiritual growth. Don't go run out and say, okay, that's who I am. That's not who you are. It's something that's coming up, and if you can let it go, that's wonderful. If you can't, you go through your dance. But always keep in mind that what I'm doing is letting go. You ain't going to be perfect at it. There's nobody perfect at it. Nobody. Right? Period. But you just keep your pole star. I don't care. I'll go through what I need to go through. But while I'm going through, I'm letting go. Maybe I can let it all go at once. Maybe it'll take years. I don't care. But I'm not going to define it as this is who I am, as people do. Something comes up, they feel different vibrations. It was always down there. Of course it was always down there. It doesn't mean that's who you are. It means that was suppressed. It wasn't ready to be dealt with. But now you've opened up enough to where now it's ready to be dealt with. No, it's who I am. I got to go run out after it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, fine. There will be things like that. And you go through the dance in life to work through your stuff. But while you're doing it, always remember, I'm letting go. I'm going to handle it. That's what I taught you. I'm going to handle that this came up. Oh, my God. The more you can handle it, the faster you'll grow. The more you can't handle it, the slower or the worse it'll be. All right. Now, We started talking about this energy flow. That's what you're working for. You're working for what you love. You're working for a feeling. You are capable of a constant upward flow of this river of joy that's passing through your heart all the time. It's just always doing this. You're not doing anything. Well, that's what you're doing, nothing. Because if you're doing something, you're messing it up. And you realize you can't touch that. That's a natural energy flow. Don't think about it. Don't try to do something about it. Don't try to get more. Just keep letting go of what was blocking it. You can get so high. You're a great being. You're a being of pure light. Christ said, that which I am, so also are you. As I sit by the throne of my Father, you shall sit by my throne. That's all the Master said. Mayor Baba said, man minus mind equals God. It doesn't mean your intellectual mind. He means that silly little mind that we've been talking about, the one that holds all these blockages. You are a great being. You're a great being. Work on yourself. Jagradev.